Hey folks, I'd like to take about 15 minutes today and share with you a tool that I think is going to greatly benefit you as a photographer. It's a tool that's portable, it's inexpensive, it's super functional. It should really be one of the first pieces of equipment besides your camera and lens that you have in your bag or your pocket, because they're that small. You can get them real big or real small. I'm going to link in the description down below a link that you can purchase this tool that I'm going to talk about. They're very inexpensive, and the one that I'm going to link in the description has some features that I find really helpful in my photography, whether I'm shooting, like I say, toys or still life or whatever. This tool I'm going to share with you is going to really benefit you. So stick around for the next few minutes. I'm going to show you a couple examples of how to use it indoors and outdoors, and with a few different light sources and types. So that being said, let's go ahead and get right to it. Okay, so the tool that I'm talking about is what's called a reflector, and this is a 3-in-1 reflector, and it's pretty small. It fits in the palm of my hand. I can hold it, in a fist, and it's called a 3-in-1 because there's 3 sides to this reflector, and I'll briefly touch on what each side does, and I'll show you some examples of the tool in action. The first part of this reflector is what's called a diffuser. Okay, it lets light pass through, and it spreads the light out over the surface and creates a nice soft, diffused, smooth, glowing kind of light on the subject. And you can decrease the effect of it or increase the effect of it depending on how close or far away you hold it to the subject that you're shooting. So the first part is called a diffuser. Super helpful tool. The second part is called the reflector, and it's this side here. This simply acts as a reflection, like if you've ever held a mirror up and reflected light in somebody's eyes or something like that, as a kid. This takes the light, whatever source it is, a sunlight or a flashlight or a studio strobe, and it bounces light back into the scene, back into the frame. So you've got light coming from over here, and you put the reflector here. That light hits the reflector and bounces light back into the opposite side, creating a nice bit of shape to your image. Okay, and this does it without adding any color to it. The next part I'm going to talk about is the gold side of the reflector, and it does exactly the same thing, except that it does it in a gold color, which I'm not really fond of myself. I don't really use this side at all. I'm not saying that you can't benefit from it. You might find a use for it, but I don't like to change things to golden colors. The other side is just white, and you kind of use this like a fill card, like you would bounce light, a softer light than the silver foily side. This would bounce light back into your subject also as a reflector, but it would be a lot softer. It would be a lot less harsh, and the amount of light bounced back into the scene wouldn't be as great as it would be with the silver side of the reflector. Okay, so and then the other side is a black side, and I don't really use this side either, but you can do it. The purpose of it is to eliminate light coming in from one side. You just sit it up and block it, and you would cut down the light coming in from one side. I don't use that either. I use the diffuser side. I use it as a diffuser panel, and I also use the shiny foil side. Those are the two sides that I make the most use out of, and that you may too. I mean, you may use the other sides, but I really think those first two are the two that are the most commonly used. And I want to show you another feature of this tool. The one that I'm linking in the description down below has a few options on it that make it really nice, and I'll take some still images and put those up on the screen. The first of those images that I'll put on the screen, and the tools that I want to describe that this has, is on the bottom of this reflector there is a threaded hole. Okay, and I'll put a picture of that up on the screen now. that threaded hole comes in handy because you can screw it into a light stand and have a light source that you don't have to hold. And so that's really a helpful feature. The other helpful feature is, look at this. This thing can fit in your pocket, perhaps in your pocket, not this pocket, but it can fit in your camera bag. It weighs like nothing. You know, you can fit it in your backpack. It's just super portable. It's super lightweight, and I think they're about 10 bucks. And you know, it's just really a good tool to use. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to show you a couple examples of how this thing works in action. Okay, so let's get to the examples. Okay guys, so what I want to show you here is I've got an example set up of my Freddy Krueger sitting in his electric chair that I created and a couple panels behind it. Anyway, what I want to show you though is we've got, now picture this light is coming through the window. It can be you know, a studio strobe, it can be a flashlight, whatever light source this is. It's coming in, it's hitting Freddy on camera left, which would be his right side, and it's casting the right camera right, his left side, into darkness. Okay, and the way that I'm going to show you two examples here of how beneficial the reflector is. And just, you know, this can be Freddy, it can be whatever, a flower, whatever it is that you want to take photos of. Obviously you're not going to use a reflector underwater or from an airplane. So please, nobody say, well, you said every kind of photography. Okay, there's going to be some exceptions. Okay, so don't take a reflector underwater. Anyway, light coming in, darkness on this side. Okay, I'm going to take a picture of Freddy, and we're just gonna, and I'll post this up so we can see the actual dark effect that's going on here. 0097. We'll put that up on screen. Now let me get my handy dandy reflector, and like I said, I've linked this down in the description below so you guys can take advantage of, you know, seeing where I bought this, and you might want to buy the same one. Okay, so since I only have two hands right here and I'm doing a lot of things, I'm just going to prop this reflector up with a can. Now what I want to show you is, look how much fill light we've got coming back into the scene. Before, this light coming in was just wasted. It's just shooting off there to camera right, going back out into infinity at 186,000 miles a second. Okay, now we'll put the reflector in and just watch the effect. Here it comes, the light. Okay, a total difference in the amount of light now falling on, bouncing back into the scene, camera right. I'm going to take a picture of that. Okay, image 0098. Okay, I'm going to take the diffuser and I'm going to simply add the diffuser to the side of Freddy. So the diffuser is going between the light source and the subject. It doesn't matter if the light source is the sunlight, a flashlight, a lume cube, any kind of light source. The diffuser just goes between the light source and the subject. So let's take a quick photo with just without the diffuser so I can show you. And I'm just going to focus on Freddy's face right here so that you can see the effect. Let me turn helps when you turn your camera on. They do work better when they're on. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm going to take that shot, and that is image 0100 with no diffuser. So go ahead, and we're looking at just his face. Okay, now I'm going to take and I'm going to put the light source or the diffuser in front of the light source, and I'm going to put it really close to him so the effect is really nice. So Freddy has a nice soft glowing skin. Okay, now take that photo, and that is going to be image 0100. Okay, Now we've done that, you can see with that up on the screen how the diffuser has softened the quality of light passing through it. And that's another use for the reflector. And once again, that link is in the description if you decide that you want to get something. You don't need a fancy one that costs, you know, $30 or whatever. One like the one I've linked down below is just fine. You don't go broke doing this stuff. You know, get what works, get what's going to keep it fun for you, and enjoy your photography. This tool is a very nice tool and a very necessary tool to have to really bring some shape dynamic and some different quality of light to your images. Okay, on with the next subject. Okay, so in this next example, we're going to use sunlight. It's as the light source, and it's coming in through the window just like it was on Freddy. It's falling on to Captain Marvel, and it's lighting the whole front side of her. But once again, the back side of her is going into darkness. So, I mean, and you may want that sometimes, but if you don't want that, you need something to bounce light back in for fill. And so let me show you in the video how this looks. You can see this side of her dark. Now we'll bring this reflector in and we start to fill in the back side of her. See how the light changes on her? We get a totally different effect if we take it away and if we add it. The closer you are, the closer you are, you can't see it in the video. The closer you are, the stronger the effect. The further away you are, the softer the effect. The light has to hit it and travel back toward her, so it decreases the amount of light hitting her, or the subject, not just her, but at any rate. So, you know, and that's how this reflector works. So I hope that those few examples that I showed were done well enough that you could, you know, see how beneficial it is to have a 3-in-1 reflector, and you know what effect and what bit of, you know, improvement the reflector will bring to your photography, whether it's toys or, you know, flowers or whatever, or portraits. The idea is the same. You know, you put the reflector on the opposite side of the light source and it bounces light back into the scene. The diffuser goes between the light source and the subject to spread the light, to change the quality of light to a soft, nice, surreal glow. And, you know, so, but hopefully you can see the benefit in this. I did it with Freddy, and I did it with Captain Marvel, and the other thing I wanted to show you real quick too was the reason I like this reflector is because it does, it has the holes in the bottom of the, I put the picture up on the screen, I'll do it again, here's I'll put the image up now. It's these holes are threaded, so what you can do is you can take a light stand and you can just go ahead and screw the light stand into the bottom of the reflector. And what this does is it, you know, if you're outside or even in the studio or whatever, it allows you to do this without having to, you know, perhaps prop it up with a bottle or something, or you know, like if you're out at the park doing pictures of toys or whatever and you're low to the ground, sometimes you use a rock, or you could just bring a light stand, or, you know, you find a branch to prop it up against or something. But here in the studio too, you know, it's nice because you can put it on a light stand and it gives you that extra support. And you know, and then also, you know, that raises up or down, and you get, you know, Netflix with this and things like that. No, I'm just playing. You don't get Netflix with this. Please don't anybody tell me that you don't like my video because you tried to get Netflix with it and it didn't work. So anyway, but it is a really cool advantage to be able to screw that into the handle and have some support for it. And at any rate, so hopefully you got something out of the video. I appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Follow me on IG at insightful_imagery. And until next time, I appreciate it, guys, and take care.